The phone rang at 2:07 a.m. Daniel Carter didn't answer right away. Not because he didn't hear it, but because calls at that hour never meant anything good. His daughter, Lily, was asleep in the next room. The apartment was quiet in that fragile way single parents learn to recognize, peaceful, but always one sound away from breaking. The phone rang again. Unknown number. He sat up slowly, looked at it, then answered. "What?" he said, voice rough with sleep. A pause on the other end. Then a woman's voice, shaking, barely holding together. "Please, I think I dialed the wrong number." Daniel was about to hang up. But then she added, I don't want to be alone right now." That line stopped him. Not dramatic, not loud, just human. He exhaled slowly. "Are you in danger?" "No," she said quickly. "No, I can't breathe properly. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called." Silence. Daniel looked toward Lily's room. Then back at the phone. "You're okay," he said finally. "Just breathe." That was the first shift. Because she actually listened. He should have hung up. Any normal person would have. But something about her voice didn't feel like attention-seeking. It felt like someone standing at the edge of something too heavy to carry alone. "What's your name?" he asked. A pause. "Emma." "Okay, Emma," he said. "You're not alone right now. Just focus on breathing." Another silence. Then, "Why are you being nice to me?" she asked. Daniel almost laughed. "Because it's 2 a.m. and I'm too tired to be anything else." That got a small sound from her. Not quite a laugh, but close. That was the second shift. After a few minutes, her breathing steadied. She sounded calmer. "I think I'm okay now," she said. "You sure?" "Yes. I'm sorry again." "Don't be." A pause. Then, "You can hang up now." Daniel looked at the phone. But didn't. Instead, "If you still feel like this again," he said, "don't call random numbers. Call someone you trust." "I don't really have anyone I can call," she admitted. That hit differently. Silence stretched. Then Daniel said something he didn't plan to. "You can call this number again," he said. A longer pause this time. "Why would you say that?" He rubbed his forehead. "Because everyone needs someone sometimes. That's all." She didn't respond immediately. Then quietly, "Thank you." And the line disconnected. Daniel stared at the phone for a few seconds. Then laid back down, expecting nothing. But sleep didn't come easily after that. Because something about the call stayed. Not her sadness, not her fear, but the fact that she trusted a stranger at 2 a.m. more than anyone else. That was the third shift. The next morning, life returned to normal. Breakfast for Lily, school drop-off, work at the garage, noise, oil, routine. Normal life had a way of pretending the night never happened. But Daniel kept thinking about the voice. Emma. He told himself it was nothing. Just a wrong number. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. 3 days later, it happened again. Same time. Unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. "Hello." A shaky breath on the other end. "It's me," she said. "Emma." That was the fourth shift. Daniel sat down immediately. "You're okay." "I didn't mean to call," she said quickly. I saw your number and I don't know why I remembered it." "You're fine," he said. "What's going on?" A pause. Then, "I had a fight," she said. "With my family." That word, family, felt heavy in her voice. "I left the house," she continued. "I'm sitting in my car." "Where are you?" he asked immediately. Another pause. "Outside the city." That was not nothing. Daniel stood up slightly. "Listen to me," he said carefully. "Don't drive like this. Stay parked." "I'm okay," she insisted. "No," he said more firmly. "You're not okay. You're just alone in a car at 2 a.m. That's not safe." Silence. Then, "Why do you care?" she asked again. That question again. Daniel closed his eyes. "I have a daughter," he said. "If she ever called someone at 2 a.m. like this, I'd want that person to stay on the phone." That was the fifth shift. Because after that, her tone changed. Less defensive, more real. "Okay," she said softly. "I won't drive." "Good." They stayed on the phone for a while. Not talking much, just presence. Sometimes that's all people need. Days passed again. No calls. Daniel thought it was over. Until it wasn't. A black car stopped outside his garage one afternoon. Expensive. Too clean. Too quiet. He frowned. 2 men stepped out. Suit. Serious faces. One of them asked, "Daniel Carter?" "Yes. We need you to come with us." That was the 6th twist. Daniel blinked. "What for?" "For her." "Who?" The man opened the back door. And then, he saw her, Emma, but not like before, not shaking, not lost, composed, controlled, completely different. That was the 7th shift. She stepped out slowly. "Hi, Daniel," she said. He stared. "You're Emma." She nodded. "Yes." A pause. Then, "I owe you an explanation." They took him to a private building downtown. Glass walls, silent elevators, everything screamed money. Daniel felt out of place immediately. And then she spoke. "I didn't call you by mistake," she said. That was the 8th twist. He frowned. "What?" "I saw your number," she admitted. "It was part of a system test." "A test?" She nodded. "I'm the CEO of the company that owns half this city's tech infrastructure." Silence. Daniel blinked slowly. "So the 2 a.m. call was fake?" "No," she said quickly. "My emotions weren't. That hit harder than anything. I needed to know something," she continued. "What? If people still respond with humanity, when there's nothing in it for them?" Daniel leaned back slightly. "So I was a test subject. You were a real person who passed a very important moment," she corrected. He laughed once. "No humor in it. And what did I pass?" She looked at him carefully. "Most people would have hung up." "I almost did. But you didn't." That was the 9th shift. Silence stretched between them. Then she said something unexpected. "I want you to work with me." Daniel frowned. "I fix cars." "I know," she said. "But you understand people. That doesn't pay bills." "I'll make sure it does." He shook his head. "This feels insane." "Maybe," she admitted. "But I don't make decisions like this lightly." Then she added, "And I don't ask twice." That was the 10th twist. Daniel looked at her. Really looked this time. Not the frightened voice on a phone. Not the mysterious stranger. But a person who built empires and still called a stranger at 2 a.m. because she felt alone. "What happens if I say no?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Then you go back to your life. And I keep building mine. And if I say yes." She paused. "Then you stop being just a man who fixed cars, and start being someone who fixes something bigger." That night, Daniel returned home late. Lily was waiting on the couch. "You look different," she said. "I had a long day." "Good or bad?" He sat beside her. "Both." She leaned her head on his arm. "Are we okay?" He looked at her, then nodded. "Yeah," he said quietly. "We're more than okay. Because sometimes, a wrong call at 2 a.m. doesn't lead to confusion. It leads to everything changing." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and become part of Whispered Love. Because here, every story has a secret, and every silence hides a feeling. See you in the next story.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.